Hey Stampers, Kim from stampingimperfection.com. Welcome to my craft room. I have another quick card I would like to share with you using another sketch challenge. This one is from the Papercraft crew, and this is also for, you will find this on papercraftcrew.com on Wednesday, May 20th, 2020. And this is sketch number 377. And it's kind of a fun sketch. It's a pretty clean and simple sketch. So it's got a couple, 3 or 4 elements here. You could use washi tape, you could use strips of cardstock or patterned paper, or whatever to make these little elements. You could use a bow instead of the dot. A little stamped sentiment or die cut would be really nice. So I actually want to play around with some paper. So I thought that I would make this sketch my own. I want to do 2 layers of something, then put a die cut piece on top and maybe a little embellishment or 2 along with it. So I'm going to go ahead and use some creative license here. Now with sketches, you can always take the sketch and you can turn it this way, you could turn it this way, you could flip it like that, mirror image, and put everything on the right hand side if you wanted to. There's lots of ways you could do this. Instead of a plain background, you could use patterned paper. So, or an embossed image or something like that. I want to do some mixed media. And I also want to use a couple little, I want to use this stamp set called Vitamin C SEA from Catherine Pooler. I've got the coordinating dies, and I have not used this yet, but I love the sentiment, saltwater heals everything, and there's no place on this sketch for a sentiment, so I can put that sentiment anywhere I want, because I definitely will want to include a sentiment. So I want to play with these Nuvo Crackle Mousses. So I'm going to start because I want to experiment with them and see how they turn out. I'm going to grab my palette knife, and since there's what looks like 2 strips there, I want to actually maybe I'll put this one now. Let me try this on the bottom. I have to get my scissors out there, or my craft knife. So whenever I work with pastes or gels or texture paste or embossing paste, or mousses like this stuff, or glazes, anything like that, I don't leave them open for very long, and this is actually a little thicker than I expected. This is, feels a little rubbery actually. So anyway, I'm going to take a little bit of this on my palette knife, and I just want to experiment with it, so I'll just take a little bit of this, and I like to close it while I'm working with it. And I don't want to do too much more than the corner, but I just want to swipe this over, and it's got a really pretty shimmer. Can you see that? And that's wet. It's not even dry yet. So that's all I'm going to do. Then I'm going to scrape the rest of this back in here. So I'll scrape that in. And I need to let this dry before I move on to the next step. So I'm going to immediately clean off my palette knife. And I don't have any paper towels. I don't know what it's like where you live, but we have not been able to get paper products. So while that is drying, and this is the Ivory Coast Nuvo Crackle Mousse, and the back says, for a textured finish, apply with a spatula. If applied using a stencil, a raised effect will occur. Ensure a thick layer is applied to create a cracked effect. So, interesting. We'll see how this comes out. So now I'm going to take a piece of just a regular piece of scrap paper. This is cardstock, and I would like to find my little MISTI. Here we go. And I just want to stamp a couple images. So I really liked these seaweed images. And I'm just going to do black and white. That's all I'm going to do. Black and white. I want to keep it super simple. And I like this little fish a lot. Looks like a flounder or a fluke. My husband probably won't think so, but it's okay. Alright, and I want to use just black, so where did my black go? The one color I put away is the one I want to use. Alright, so I'm using Catherine Pooler's Midnight Black ink. This is probably my current favorite black ink. And I do tend to get it all over me when I stamp. And I don't like the way the side of that came out. Oh, it's supposed to have little hole marks in it. Okay, so I'm not going to take that, and I'm going to... So this is my stamp cleaner. This is a really nice little dispenser. It's a squeaky clean dispenser. I got that from Brutus Monroe, and I actually really like it. Oh, I should probably use some of that on my finger. Clean up my stamp positioner while I'm at it. So this permanent black ink is actually archival dye ink, which means that it's a permanent ink. It gives beautiful coverage, and it does really nice detail. Like, you can see the details on that. So I really love this ink. I'm just going to cut this down. And then I'm going to pull out my little mini Blossom die cutter from Altenew. One of my very favorite little tools. I love it because it's so pretty. And it works perfectly. So I cannot complain about this little die cutting machine. Now, I also have the coordinating dies. So now I can just place these on top. One. So handy to have the little die cutting machine right on my desk. And I just stick the washi tape to the side of the machine, and then I reuse it a bunch of times till I can't reuse it anymore. Okay, so how's this doing? Still a little sticky. Alright, so I'm going to try this now on top of it and see what happens. See if this feels the same way as the other stuff. Okay, so I've got this. I know I don't need very much. This is really, it feels very different than the other texture paste I've used. It's almost got like a rubbery finish. Okay, and I think I'll just try swiping that across. Maybe just a little bit more. Okay, now clean off your palette knife right away. And I'm going to layer these together. Put a piece of foam under this one. And then maybe I'll give this guy a little bit of color. Phew, thought I had a mouse behind me. I'm going to give this one just a little tiny bit of color. I'm going to take, and by the way, this is called Celestial Blue. I'm going to take some of this Juniper Mist, and I'm just going to use a little tiny brush. I don't want to use too much water because this is just cardstock. This is a really bold color. And I'm just going to color in very lightly. So he stands out a little bit. From the and then you might need another color. I'm going to give him a little bit of green tea. I'll fill in the rest. Okay, so that was green tea and juniper mist, and now I'm going to put one little piece of foam tape there. Stick that on there, just like that. I'm going to glue this little guy in place, just like that. And I definitely want some blue. I should have done this before. Some blue dots on it. Okay, I just load up my brush. Try not to have anything else when you're sitting around there. And I'm going to take a little bit of the Juniper mist and add to it also, because I feel like a little of that green would not be remiss. Okay, I'll put the Saltwater Heals Everything. Okay, so I'm just going to put this down. Oh, and it's starting to crack. The crackle medium is starting to crack. The stuff I put on there first. There we go. And that's going to complete my card. So if I pull out that sketch that I was using, there we go. That's the sketch, that's my card. So I really made this my own, but I followed the sketch because I have everything down in the corner. There's two colors of stuff below, and instead of using pattern paper or washi tape or a little pennant like in the sketch, I used two different kinds of crackle mousse. This is Nuvo Crackle Mousse, and if I hold this up really close, let me just come in a little tighter here. I don't know if you can see, it's starting to crack along the top there, and look how much sheen you get with that. That's actually really pretty. So I really like that. So you can see if we compare them that I've tried to concentrate everything in there. There wasn't anything here for sentiment, so I included a sentiment just flowing up the card. I tried to keep it so it was kind of flowing up the card and almost making a diagonal. I could add some other embellishments here if I wanted to, because I have this little guy here, but I really have three elements here, so I feel like I've got my elements in there because there's three different elements. That's probably a piece of washi tape there. So I've got three elements. I've added some background spots. I actually like that. I feel that like the spots actually pull the card together, plus it's like a sea scene, a tiny little sea scene, which I kept in black and white. If you watch my first Technique a Week video, one of the trends is using a little bit of color with some black and white images, just coloring in one of the images and keeping everything else black and white, or coloring in just part of an image or two and keeping everything else black and white. So that is one of the new trends that I've been seeing for a while that I really like, and boy is that stuff sparkly, and boy is it starting to crack. Can you see those cracks? I can see them in the camera. I hope you can too. The blue hasn't started to crack yet, but I'm going to let this dry and I will take a photo of it. I can see the blue starting to crack over along this edge where I got it a little bit thinner, and it's probably a little bit drier, but I'm going to let that sit overnight, and then I will take a photo of it in the morning. And I'm pretty excited about that card. I really like this card. So I feel like the sentiment is so perfect. Saltwater really does heal everything. It's one of the things that is really good for your soul. So thank you for watching. I hope you have a wonderful day. I'll link the products that I used below. Everything was from Catherine Pooler again. I love Catherine Pooler. If you have not stopped by Catherine Pooler shop, I will put a link below for that. And if you have not stopped by there, definitely stop by, because she has added so much to her shop. She's got all these fun crackle mousses. She's got several other colors. These were the two I picked. So happy I picked these two colors, because don't they look gorgeous together? absolutely gorgeous. So I love the way they look. I think it's just a super fun card. So she's got lots of stuff like this. She's also got some other mediums. She's got all kinds of metallics gels. She's got some pastes. So lots of things. She's got beautiful tools. She's got the MISTI there if you don't have a MISTI. This is the mini MISTI. If I only invested in one MISTI, I would get the original size. I pull this out more than I do the original size, but there are some techniques that I can do on the original size that I can't do on this. So if I could only get one, I would get the original MISTI. And she's got beautiful scissors, like the Tim Holtz scissors she started to carry, and she's got a lot of good little products. She's got, you know, blending brushes and tweezers and things like that, along with her the stamp sets and dies that she's coming out with are just really good quality, and they're very interesting. Like, they're just beautiful stamp sets. And if you watched my last video, you know I created this card. These were all released as part of the same release, so that she had this whole saltwater sea theme going on, and it was pretty fabulous. So definitely stop by her shop and check out what she's got. She's got a whole bunch of subscription items. My favorite is the Club Sursee, and you definitely want the Club Sursee Deluxe. I'll put a link for that below. She's got her Canvo Journaling Club, so you get a journaling stamp set, and a lot of times stencil or 2 journaling stamp sets or something like that each month. With Club Sursee, you usually get a couple of stamp sets and the coordinating dies. If you do the deluxe, if you just do the regular, you usually get the stamp sets. And then she's got a third one, I think. But she's also got the Stamp Nation website too. It's a membership website, and it's pretty fantastic. So definitely check out Catherine Pooler's stuff if you haven't been there in a while. She's got a lot of her original stuff is still up there, and I still use the very first stuff that I bought from her. So thank you so much for watching. Please give this video a like and share with your friends. Make sure you subscribe to my channel and click that bell so you get notifications every time I upload a new video. So thank you so much for watching, and I will share a picture of this on my blog so you can see what happened when this cracked overnight. So that's that. Thanks for watching. Be well, my friends. Have a very good day.